Hello there. Today I'm gonna tie this. This is a small, oh, this is not a small, this is a space shrimp, a white and pink space shrimp. A really cool pattern for sea trouts and for, you know, any types of shrimp eating fish. The spay feathers really makes this very alive in the water and move very well. So a great pattern with the pink eyes and to add some contrast, which really works well. So well, basically that's it. First I'm gonna attach a hook, and today I'm using the Arix Stinger. A nice hooks for any type of trout fly, streamers and stuff like that, because it has this fairly wide hook bend, which is truly a nice thing. Of course, I also want to say that if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, then I really would appreciate it if you would, because that, well, basically that would mean a lot to me, and you'll get the occasional email about new videos and stuff like that. So if you haven't done so already, then please do. And also, if you do not have visited my shop yet, then I would be delighted and very happy if you did. Basically, I have all these the fly tying videos that you see here. I have them. I've made fly tying kits for them, so you can you can actually just very easily and effortlessly. If I said that right, you can buy the full material kits to flies like this. Simply just 2 clicks and you have all you need to tie this. So I'm gonna take some teal feathers, just teal in neutral, in the natural color. So I'm just gonna make a small tail of that. Cut off. Oh, and before we forget, this is not gonna have a thorax or a carapace. So I'm basically not gonna bother with adding this to the bottom of the hook and stuff like that. I'm just gonna do like this, and this fly will look uniform from any direction. So basically you can add the weight to your fly just the easy way, like so. I think there's a bit too little teal on there, so I'm just gonna add some more, just a little more. Like that. This is going to be, you know, imitate the mouthpiece, the mouth parts, like so. And basically, what we need to do now is to have a hackle here, actually. But I don't want to have a hackle, because when you take one of these spay capes, they're fairly expensive, and the number of usable feathers for the perfect size feathers for the hackles is of course limited, and that's the thing you're gonna run out of first. So what I do is I'd simply take 2 very large feathers from the top of the cape here, and I simply just take these and then I strip off the feather fibers that I need, and I produce a false hackle out of these. So simply I took 2 feathers and I folded them so I get as many of the hackle fibers as possible. And then I see these are quite a lot different in length, so I take the longest here and I simply just re-add them. So my wing, or whatever you want to call this, is a bit more uniform, not completely uniform, but a bit more. And basically I simply just tie these down so they are all the way around the hook, like if they were a hackle. And I make the first 2 turns I make rather loose, and then a bit more like so. And there you can see I have the same effect as a hackle, but without using one of the precious and nice feathers I will need loads of on my cape for the body hackle, like so. Fairly easy done, nice and easy. Then I take some dubbing to add contrast, and this is some sinew fusion dubbing in very bright fluorescent pink. This is going to add some contrast to this otherwise very, very white fly. And white flies in general can be very, very efficient, and it's one of those colors that you definitely need to have in your box, because they can easily be the color that makes or breaks your day. As simple as that. For some reason, there are days where white simply just, you know, out trumps every single other thing. I just made a small bundle of pink dubbing, and then I'm gonna take some pink easy shrimp eyes. And if you're not familiar with these, then these are simply great. 2 eyes on a stalk, and you have them all ready to go. And there's some dentations on this thingy that holds them together. So with some dentations in there, so when you tie it down, it will stay in place. And you will not have pirate shrimps with only 1 eye. Another old joke, if you've heard that before, then pardon. Then of course, well, you will have heard it before. Like so. And you can see that's my shrimp from above. Like that. Then I'm gonna take a small bundle of SLF, simply just in order to make this look better. It's not fishing wise. This is not necessary, but this will make it looks like the thorn of the shrimp. So just add a bit of that in order to make the fly simply look better. And you can, if you want, take that and fold that back as well, like so. If you think that's a bit too much, you can of course simply just pull some of it off, like that. That was a bit much. That's better. So there you have it. Now all we have to... oh crap. All we have to do is add some rib first. Some rib and a hackle, make a body out of with a dubbing loop, and then you're good to go. And when you tie this monofilament or fluorocarbon or whatever you use, be sure to turn it around and tie it down doubly. Otherwise, you will probably, it will be too slippery, and probably you will end up having no rib at all. When I did this video in Danish, that's exactly what happened to me. So I'm gonna double check here. Off to the side with that. Then I'm gonna find me a feather that is perfect for this. I think one of those will do. Bigger one. And since we're tying shrimps and we're tying them reversed from what, well, they're actually swimming like, then I'm gonna tie this with down in the lower part down here, and then because then the longest of the fibers will be back, and then it will taper up towards the eye, which is the idea I'm going for. So you can see the natural curve of the fiber. I turn it so that the upside, the side that is facing up on the cape, is facing me. Then I'm tying it on the side here, in towards me, like so. I'm gonna just tie this all the way up here. I'm gonna tie it on top of the non-lead wire as well, like so. Okay. Then I'm gonna make a dubbing loop and add some STF fibers. A nice dubbing. That's also sometimes called polar dub, depending on where you're from, depending on what manufacturer you get it from. So I take out. It's a nice and cheap synthetic dubbing that really looks and works well for shrimp patterns and bait fish and stuff like that. I add this to my dubbing loop here. Make sure it's in there. Add a bit more, like so. And then I'm ready to spin the reel. I use the CF Design dubbing turbo dubbing reel, which is, well, without a doubt the best dubbing reel in, well, at least the best dubbing reel I ever tried. So in my universe, it's the best dubbing reel in the universe. And basically, you can see I get a nice dubbing brush here. Oh, I need my thread, of course, to be up towards the head here. so. I'm gonna turn my dubbing brush. And as you can see, I get a lot of dubbing that stands out. Oh, now my dubbing loop here is a bit too thick, so I'm gonna pull out a bit of it in order to make sure that the shrimp body here it will taper as I want it to. So how does that look? That looks perfect. And with shrimps, what you really want to do is you don't want to overdress them, because if you overdress them, then they won't look translucent and transparent. And if you have ever seen a shrimp in the water, it really is the embodiment of translucency and of transparency. So and you want to have kind of that halo aura effect on your flies here. So basically, do not use too much dubbing. And make sure that you use a dubbing that is transparent, that you can brush out. And the way I'm gonna turn the hackle now. Basically, that's it. The way I fish flies like this, also in pink and stuff like that, shrimps like this, is basically I fish these rather fast. So a lot of speed, both whilst retrieving it, but also while I move on the coastline. So I retrieve it fast, but I also fish a lot of water. So I take 2 or 3 steps between every single cast in order to to maximize the volume of water that my flies actually moves through. Because especially in winter time, you really need to search and find the trout. The trout won't find you, because the water will be so cold that they will actually not move very, well, at least that's my experience, won't move that much around. So it's way easier for you to find the trout than for the trout to find you. Then I'm turning my ribbing here, and I'm turning my rib the other way around than I did the hackle. And that's basically to make sure that this really is gonna stay where it's put, like so, and to add of course a lot of durability to this fly, because it's basically it is a fairly expensive fly to tie due to the spay hackles, but it is this way of tying flies really is in my opinion the best way to make shrimps, because these spay hackles simply is just astounding in the water. Simply just looks, yeah, awesome is the best word, I think. Oh, I'm terribly sorry about that. I thought I had turned this off. I'm gonna do that. Oh, sorry. Really sorry about that. Like so. Make my whip finish here. You can of course end this with whatever types of varnish or whatever you use. I like to use today I'm gonna use a bit of super glue here. And this fly is far from done. It looks very not done now, and that really is true. It is not done yet, like so. Because now comes the time for to bring out your dubbing needle and to make this fly again look truly great by pulling out all these fibers here. And this is a very crucial part of this fly. In order for this fly to really look how it's supposed to, and really look like a shrimp in the water, you need to pull out all the fibers. If any of the hackle fibers were caught in between here, you need to pull those out as well. Pull out some dubbing fibers, and that's why I used the super glue before I started doing this, because sometimes you can, if you're not careful, you can accidentally catch the rib, and you do not want to pull out the rib. I've done that quite a lot of times. And then you brush everything with your dubbing brush here. In order for this to look as it will do in the water, you really Apply some pressure here. You get a slim, transparent, easy to cast, easy to fish, insanely lively fly in the water that just, well, basically looks a lot like food to any trout. It's just... There you have it, the white space shrimp. Really, really a nice pattern, a nice shrimp that, well, truly is deadly. And fairly easy to tie as well, because you skipped a lot of details with the carapace and stuff like that. So, basically, the white space shrimp.